Hey guys, this is Varun Inamdar and welcome to Indian Culinary League. Well, today I'm going to show you a recipe that I personally have been wanting to show you for the longest time. Let me also thank all of you on behalf of my entire team for all your love, all your appreciation, all your comments. Yes, we read each and every comment. Also, send in your love, send in your likes, send in your appreciation, feedback so that we can start working on those and have such more series out for you. Today, let me show you my personal favorite Cheesling biscuits. Well, it has white flour, it's deep fried, but trust me, I love it. To the flour, I'm going to add in butter. It's like a typical short crust pastry that I'm going to eventually make out of this. But the only difference here is I'm going to use buttermilk and I'm going to use cheese. This is regular processed cheese. You could also take it to another level and add in some English cheddar. But this one, for now, is processed cheese. I'm going to grate this nice and fine. But also, I'm going to massage this into the dough so that the dough kind of becomes nice and cheese flavored. Into this, I'm going to add in some salt. Not too much, that's just to bring out the flavor of the refined flour. Remember the fact that there's butter and cheese, both these have salt. The next thing that goes in is baking soda for that nice and puffy biscuit. Before we move ahead, let's massage all of this cheese and butter into the refined flour. You'll have to wait for the flour to develop breadcrumb-like texture, exactly the way we make for cookies and biscuits. Let's run this mixture like so between your fingers so that now the texture is nice and breadcrumb-like. Time to add in some buttermilk. At this point in time, you need to start bringing all of this together and start massaging this into a nice and stiff dough. Do not get tempted to add in extra water, milk or buttermilk because this is going to be perfect. Allow this to rest for 15 to 20 minutes under a damp cloth and then we'll move further. The dough has rested enough. Let's re-knead this once. Well, that should be good. Let's take a lemon-sized ball of the dough and along with this, just a little bit of refined flour to ensure that the dough does not stick onto the base. The next is to roll this into a thin disc. It would be uneven, but do not bother because eventually we're going to cut this before deep frying. We need to roll this nice and thin because remember the fact that there is baking soda and it's going to double up while frying. Let's use a sharp knife and cut this into vertical strips to begin with. Next is to move the knife sideways and cut this horizontally. Basically, what we need are tiny squares. Let's remove the uneven sides like so. Get all the discarded bits together and transfer it in the master dough. And the next step is to scrape this lightly and transfer it onto a plate. Let's move on to frying the first batch. Very carefully, let's transfer this into oil. Do not overcrowd the batch of oil because you want them to nicely puff up and become nice, crisp and pillowy. Do not over fry these because you need a nice light golden color biscuit like so. The moment the color changes, the look changes. Similarly, let's fry the other batch. With this, we come to the end of the Indian Culinary League. Do not forget to like and share the video and more importantly, also send in your feedback so that we can start working backwards. On that note, do let me know which team you are supporting at the finals. But whoever you support, trust me, jeetega to sher hi.